Hey guys, I got a story time for you guys today. This is about a roommate that I had. This took place a few months ago, actually. This is when it ended. I went to college away from home last September, and my mom wanted me to live in residence for the first year. At the college I went to, there is 4 bedrooms, and there is a kitchen common area, and then a living room common area. So I had 3 other roommates in total. When I began the year, I started with these 2 girls that were best friends and my best friend. And then my best friend dropped out, which I've talked about in other videos, and we didn't get anybody until January. I got really close to these 2 other roommates that were best friends, but I really like them. They're awesome. They were the best roommates I could have asked for. The other girl that came in January. This girl, we first meet her, we're gonna name her Cindy. So Cindy, she did not just move to the school in January. She did not start school in January, because you can start in September or January. She started in September as well, but she lived in a different building. There's different rooms. If you have a corner room, you only have 2 people in there, whereas the regular rooms it's 4 people. This girl tells us, oh yeah, I used to be in another building, but my roommate was crazy. She was like my mom. I would go out somewhere and she'd be like, when are you coming back? And we were like, oh yeah, that's really weird. Little do we know, her roommate probably would have been the perfect person to live with. Because this girl, Cindy, she moved in. She didn't even knock on the door when she first moved in. She just unlocked the door, came in, walked to her room, and unlocked the door. And I look over and I'm like, hi? Who are you? Why are you in our room? I'm very confused. She's like, oh, I'm your new roommate. So I told my roommates, hey guys, we got a new roommate, she's moving in. They were like, oh great, awesome. And then they get there and she doesn't talk to them, at all. She even barely talked to me. I mean, she was moving in, so she was in and out that day. So I didn't actually talk to her that much. I just said my name and stuff, and yeah. So if anything, I had the most communication with her out of all the roommates. I also had to share a bathroom with her. There's 2 bathrooms, 2 people share each. She was like, hey, so about the toilet paper, are we gonna share, and one person buys it for that month, one person the next month? And I was like, actually no, because I don't know how much you poop. I was like, you might go through the toilet paper like crazy. I don't know. I might go through the toilet paper like crazy. I don't want you to pay more than what you owe. She was like, okay, well I don't have any right now, so I can use yours until I go grocery shopping. And I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. I don't want you to not have toilet paper. 4 weeks goes by. She's still using my toilet paper. And I was like, girl, you went through a whole package with me. So now I'm short a month's supply of toilet paper. And she didn't pay me back for it at first. So the whole time I was like money gone. Anyway, that's a slight thing she did. That wasn't that terrible, but after that week to go and get her own toilet paper, instead she used mine for a whole month. Kept using it. I literally thought it was gonna go on until the end of the year. When she actually moved out, she was nice enough to give me her leftover toilet paper because she didn't want to take it home. So she's like, hey, you want this? And I was like, yas, there's my money back. I was glad that was the end result, but I wasn't sure that was gonna happen. So literally throughout the months after she bought her own toilet paper, I was slowly taking some, because I was like, girl, she bank robbed me, I need my money back. I mean, I didn't take a lot of hers because I had my own, but I would take a few here and there whenever I remembered. Another thing she did was she used my other roommate's stuff, and she might have used my stuff too, but I didn't notice, without asking for permission. She would grab bowls or plates, spoons, forks, knives, like she took it all. And they were like, does she even have dishes? Like they were like, I think she didn't bring anything and that's why she's stealing our stuff. So we looked in her cupboards. Sure enough, she had dishes. We were like, okay, why are you using their stuff then? She also used their scrubby dish soap thing. They had like this weird scrubby thing attached to like a pole, and you pour the dish soap in the pole so that it goes down when you're washing. She used that without asking them. She didn't ask them at all to use any of their stuff. She just helped herself. And like they told me like, oh, we've known you for like 4 months, like we like you, we're okay if you used our stuff because we trust that you'll put it back, we trust that you will clean it, we trust that you won't break it. And you know, I even asked permission every time I used their stuff. I didn't ever just take it and be like, oh, they're okay if I use this. I always asked. She didn't ever ask. And she was this new person living with us that we didn't know anything about. Like, of course we're not comfortable if you use our stuff, but she helped herself anyway. Like, don't do that. Do not take your roommate's stuff without asking. No. Like, they paid for it. It is theirs. It is not yours to use. If you want to use it, ask them. So anyway, this girl, she pretty much ate out every meal also. Like, she almost never made her own food. And any food she did have, she like stored in her room because she thought we were gonna steal her stuff. How ironic. She would eat out at like Thai Express, if you know what that is. Anyway, she ate out there. And apparently she decided she did not like her food, so she took her takeout container and put it in the recycling without dumping the entire thing out. It was full of rice and she just left it full there. She put a yogurt in the recycling that was full, and we just assumed it was empty and cleaned before she put it in the recycling. No, it was not. I had a friend come over and she was like, your place smells weird. And I was like, does it? Like, I couldn't really tell. Sprayed my air freshener around to try to get rid of that smell. The day that me and my roommate decided to take down the recycle, she goes to pick up the yogurt to put it in the recycle bin. The lid's not on tight. It almost fell everywhere and it was rotten. It was stanky yogurt. It was not, like, it had been sitting there for like a week or two. And we did not know that it was full. We threw it in the garbage because... And then I told my friend, like, later, so you know how you said it smelled like yogurt earlier? Yeah, that was because my roommate had bad yogurt out. Another time, she had Kraft dinner, and she had it in this big container. She ate the Kraft dinner in her room, and it stayed there for like a month. Then, she brought it out, put water in it to, like, you know, loosen the sauce and the noodles that had been sitting there for like a month. Then she left it there for 2 weeks. I come out and I go, oh, somebody's juice container, because it's big enough to be like a jug that you put in the fridge with your juice in it. It's like, oh, somebody was cleaning their juice container and wanted to rinse it or something. So I go to pour out the juice. That's when I realized it's not juice and that there's noodles in it and that it's Kraft dinner and that it's, oh my gosh. And then the smell hits me. So I'm like, whoa. So I stop what I'm doing. I put the container back and I fill it back up with water because I do not want to smell what is in there. I then tell my other roommates and they're like, oh my god. Like, I was like, when did she have this Kraft dinner again? And they were like, yeah, like a month ago. And I was like, whew. And I was like, oh, okay. And another thing she did was she never did her dishes. That's why that thing sat there for like 2 weeks. She had toast at one point or something. She left her plate and her fork or knife or whatever there. And I was like, okay, is she just gonna leave that on the counter and take up table space? Like, we use that to cook food on. So when I did my dishes, I did her plate and her fork because I was like, okay, I'll be nice. Like, she just moved in. Sure, I'll do her one dish or whatever, like, that's not a big deal. And it's not like the sinks were always full. Like, my two roommates were really good at doing their dishes, like, a lot. Almost never had dishes. I cooked all the time, so I always had big pots and pans in my side. And to be honest, no, I did not do the dishes every single night. I did them every other day, if that was the longest I did. If I did cooking, I tried to do it right after. So she had time to do the dishes. She also could have like asked me, hey, can you move your stuff so I can do the dishes? Like, but she had no communication with us. She always had her door shut or it was open. Oh, and I haven't even gotten to the worst part. She talked so loud on the phone. She was always talking to her friends like, hey girl. We literally were in on the gossip that she was talking to her friend about. We were like, oh, girl. She could have shut her door and we could still hear her screaming on the phone. Like, she was so loud when she talked on the phone. And the funniest thing is at one point she was talking to her friend on the phone and she was like, hang on girl, let me put some headphones in. Don't want my nosy roommates to hear what I'm talking about. She put the headphones in and she talked even louder. But watch it. She also, when she did do her dishes, or when she brought her dishes out, or when she wanted to have food to eat, because we never saw her eat like anything. We saw her make craft dinner that one time at 12:30 at night, sometimes, or mostly at 3 in the morning. She'd come back from wherever she was out at and she would decide now's the perfect time to do the dishes and to make food and to turn on the microwave and make so much noise. She would open the cupboards, shut the cupboards, open the fridge, shut the fridge, and everything we heard. She woke us up 7 times within the span she was there. So like 4 months, 7 times. Like, that might not seem like a lot. When you have midterms and when you have exams and somebody wakes you up at 3 in the morning, 2 nights in a row right before your exams start, Cindy really came back and woke me up, and she even woke up my other roommates, and they were heavy sleepers. I was the light sleeper, and I even had earplugs in, and she was still waking me up. Once she had friends over and they were gonna go out somewhere. Anyway, earlier on in the night, they were getting ready to go out somewhere, and we were like, oh, that's cool, like having friends over is fine. Okay, we're gonna go to sleep. So we shut off all the lights and we went to bed. Me and my other roommate, we went to bed. We shut all the lights off. An hour or 2 goes by. I was asleep and my other roommate was just getting asleep. And she comes through the door, stumbling around with her friends, laughing, blah, blah, gets in her room, shuts her door, they're laughing in there. I checked my phone and I messaged my other roommate and I was like, did she just wake you up too? And then she was like, yeah. And this is getting towards the end of our time with her, so, because if she pulled this when we first moved in with her, we would have tried to get her out of there, like, right away. But she pulled this, like, within the last, like, 3 weeks. Like, okay, let's try to go back to sleep then, and I'm sure they will be gone within, an hour or so. So we were like, we'll just stay awake a little longer, and then we'll finally get to sleep when they go back out or they leave. Actually, what happened was they were being really loud, and the only reason they quieted down was because I got up and I went to the washroom. And whenever I wake up in the middle of the night, I go to the washroom because you woke me up. So me going to the washroom is also kind of like a hint, you woke me up. Can you hear me going to the washroom and getting up? Because you woke me up. I wouldn't be doing that if you didn't come and wake me up. So that was my little hint, I'm awake. And on my way back to my room, I slammed my door really hard. Like, hard enough that it rattled the whole place. Because I was like, I hope she gets the hint that she woke me up, and I am angry because her waking me up at 3 in the morning, 12 in the morning, and 7 times, like, and you know, she didn't really do it within 4 months. It was like 2 months, because when she first got there, she was okay. She wasn't bad, which is why we didn't have any red flags to get rid of her. Then everything went downhill the longer we were with her. Anyway, the noise calms down. They're more quiet because they realize that I am angry and I'm trying to sleep. We also had all the lights off. Like, if you're coming home to a dark apartment and the doors are all shut, you best be assuming people be sleeping. Like, be respectful that you live with other people. You are not the only one that lives there. Surprise, surprise. Anyway, Cindy and her friends, they quiet down. I'm like, oh, perfect, we can go to sleep. And it was all good. Then this terrible smell fills the room. They're smoking weed in their room. And I message my roommate again and I go, do you smell that? And just as I hit send, she sent the same message. She was like, do you smell that? So I was like, okay, that means that the smell is like all throughout the place. So I was like, okay, the plan is I'm gonna get some air freshener and spray the place so me and my roommate, the good one, we don't get in trouble for her being a dum-dum. So we take the Febreze and we're like, I've been around other people smoking weed. It's not that big of a deal. I can handle it, especially during the day, you know, when I'm awake and I'm not trying to sleep with an overwhelming smell around me. But, you know, I prefer that people do that, like, in their own personal time, by themselves, so it doesn't, like, affect anybody else. Like, don't let everybody else know what's going on. Just keep it to yourself, like, whatever. Like, not everybody wants to smell it. Not everybody likes it. Not everybody wants to be around that. So, like, steal your room off and blow it out the window. But instead, she was like, I don't even know what they were doing because it filled the whole apartment. And we've had somebody else in there before that had smoked weed, and it did not travel like that. So I don't know what she was doing. It also didn't even smell like weed. It smelled like pure smoke. Like, I was like, great, are the smoke detectors gonna go off? Like, a few hours went by after that, and her friends finally left. I could finally sleep. And then we were like, okay, like, what are we gonna do? Like, we want to get rid of her, but there was 3 weeks left. We couldn't get rid of her, so we put up with her until the end. I never I don't want to have anything to do with her ever again, because, like, I didn't even hug her bye. I hugged my other 2 roommates bye at the end of the time living there, but for her, I was just like, bye. There's probably other things she did that I forgot about, to be honest, because she was just, like, she is that roommate that your parents are like, hope you don't get a bad, disrespectful roommate. There she is, Cindy. That was my terrible roommate story. I'm sorry this is such a long video, but it was a long 4 months, people. Anyway, I will see you guys in another video. Bye.